Alright, what's going on, everyone? So we're back. I was gone for a week if you don't know, so don't know how many updates there are. However, once I got back, I did hop onto the sim, so I did see what cards we have gotten as of recently. So they are some of them are on this leak, some I haven't seen yet. So let's just get right into it. This will be a very quick update video. Okay, so the first one is Jimbei, right? Really funny art. Me and my friend were looking at all the new stuff on the sim, and this was one of them that we found. Jimbei got a card, of course it's for Straw Hat Pirates, because Luffy is getting yet another black leader with another black Straw Hat starter deck. So this is why it's getting released. We're getting some more support for that deck. Pretty interesting though. This is what, when I first saw this was like, dude, this is what's supposed to, this is what, what's his face supposed to be? This is what Sengoku was supposed to kind of be like in the original black starter deck, the first one, because this is like a way better ability, in my opinion. Dawn times 1, so it's a 7k swing when you attack. If you have a character with a cost 8 or more, you K up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost 4 or less. So really good. It's not archetype locked, right? So it could be any 8 cost or more characters. Like if you have that 10 drop Kuzan on board, that works, yada yada yada, which really helps because if you also have that Kuzan on board, the Kuzan will -5 to any of your opponent's characters. You'll be swinging with a 7k that will also have the potential to KO a 4 or less. And if they have a 9 drop on board, your Kuzan's on board, that their 9 drop is going to be a 4 drop. So not to mention you get a 7k swing. So really, really cool, right? Really cool for Straw Hats. Really interesting art they chose for Jimbei. They went really into his fangs here because they are not that big in the show, but they went down an interesting path for this art. And next up we have Thatch. Of course, we're gonna have some more Whitebeard stuff for blue because of Red Blue Marco. He is counterable if this character were to be KO'd or removed from play, so either or. And it's also a KO either or as well if it's by effects or just straight up KO'd. You can place this character into the trash and then draw one card instead. So that's actually really good, right? That's a good, like, quote-unquote effect blocker. That's a quote-unquote just normal pseudo blocker, because if they don't want you to keep this guy on board because they don't want you to have extra swings, they'll either target it with like a removal card, so like 3000 Worlds, that's a easy option to choose. Or if they just try to KO it, no matter what, you're always going to be profiting off of this card. So I can really see a lot of blues running this. I wouldn't say a lot of blues, right, because most decks have their answers. But for Marco, I can really see people running this because, like, who doesn't like a pseudo blocker that has very good protection from either effects and just being straight up KO'd. So a really good pseudo blocker. I think this is like the best one in the game until we get it, of course. Well, once we get it, it'll be the best one. We don't have it out yet. Especially here in America, since we don't even have set 7 yet, so it's going to be a minute till we get Thatch. But really cool. You're always profiting off of this card from a swing as a pseudo blocker, and if they do get rid of it, you place it into your trash instead, and you draw one card, so pretty good hand gain, yada yada yada, and so on. I could also see this being ran in blue yellow ace, right? Because you'll have a body on board, you'll be able to draw. It'll be a swinger pseudo blocker for the leader, and you put it into your trash instead. You draw a card, which will probably help you get one of your little guys, Luffy or Ace, to do that stupid combo, that gimmick that gives them plus 2k, and you get a big body on board. So I can see that being ran in there, maybe, I don't know. Next up we have yet another Whitebeard, and he is now a 10k, or sorry, a 10 drop 12k. So he finally has his own super big body, like an actual 10 drop. Because we only have the 9 drop Whitebeard, and we only have the 6 drop Whitebeard that came out in the Three Brothers structure deck that just released in America about 3 days ago, I think. So on play, if your leader type includes Whitebeard Pirates and you have 2 or less life cards, until the end of your opponent's next turn, all your opponent's characters cannot attack unless they first discard 2 cards from their hand. So it's worded interestingly, right? Because when me and my friends saw this on the sim, we didn't know if the way it works is like, so say your opponent has like 4 cards on the field, and since you played this guy, you played this 10 drop Whitebeard, and it's your opponent's turn now, do they have to discard 2 cards for each attack, or just do they only have to discard 2 cards so that everything can attack again? So if it is the former, I would say that, I'm not saying it's busted, I'm not saying it's broken, or it's not broken, busted, or like bad, because it is good, right? It helps get rid of hand size for your opponent, especially against stuff like Sorry about that. I don't know if you heard that, but it's actually storming outside for me. But it actually helps against like decks that really rely on hand size. If it is the former where they have to discard 2 for every attack, like stuff like the green film Uta, the yellow Enel, so on and so on. So that if that is the case where it is the former where they have to discard 2 every time they attack, that really helps against decks like that always have a big hand size. So that is how I see it being a positive, because for some reason everybody just loves hand gain and hand size in this deck, in this game. So I really do. I'll be honest. I really do hope it's the former. So yeah, we can only also speculate what this parallel is gonna be. I really hope the parallel is going to be of him doing the Quake when he's at Marineford. That'd be a really cool parallel in my opinion. So yeah, that's 10 drop Whitebeard. And then we have this yellow 5 drop 6k Seraphim Boa Hancock. So we don't know what the ability is yet because it was blurred out, right? So it does have an ability. It does have a trigger. It's one of those triggers where it's like, oh, activate this card's ability that we see on a lot of cards. But I can't read Japanese, so I don't know what it is. I don't know what the ability is because it's blurred out, but most likely it either has to do with like, oh, if your leader is Vegapunk, activate this card's main, or so on and so on. If anything, it probably is just activate this card's main effect. So it's either main effect or on play. That I know for sure. But it's an SR, so we do have a chance to get this card as a parallel when you pull it. So who knows what that parallel is going to be. If she is finally revealed, and she's the first, I think, Seraphim we've gotten in this leak, we can only speculate on what the other Seraphims are going to do and how they work. Because we've already seen Mihawk, we've already seen Kuma, and we've already seen Jinbei as Seraphims. We have yet to see the other Warlords as Seraphims yet. So, yeah, that's I haven't read the manga, so that's if they even made them as Seraphims. But we've only seen Boa, Kuma, and Mihawk, and Jinbei as Seraphims. So we don't really know yet, especially with this card's ability. And then we have King. We saw this on the sim as well. I know the card right after it. I know exactly what that card is because that card for Mono Purple Kaido I think is really busted. But right now it's 7 drop King, which is also another King that has a potential to have a parallel, like in set 1. It's another 7 drop King that is way better than the one that we got in set 1 in my opinion. Because on play you Dawn -1 if your opponent has a 5 or more Dawn. This character gains Rush until the end of the turn. So it's a Purple's finally getting some more Rush, right? Because I think the only Rush we have is Kaido. Unless I'm mistaking someone and I'm forgetting someone. But for a 7 drop 8k Rush, of a conditional Rush, it could be good for mid range. It could be good for mid late game because most likely if you're not going against Purple or like someone like Reiju, they will have 5 or more Dawn. Because if you don't know, Reiju kind of only needs to play off of 4 Dawn. Because all of the Power Rangers require 4 or less because it only takes that much to minus a Dawn after to get the big bodies out. I don't really know if some Reijus run Judge, so most likely you'll see Reijus very low on Dawn. So stuff against like normal Purple or like just normal decks that always have 5 or more Dawn. So any other color besides Purple. But really good conditional Rush for a 7 drop Animal Kingdom Pirates. Really nice. Then we have Black Maria. So Black Maria is the card I was talking about. She, in my opinion, is going to be really busted because not only is she only 3 cost and a 2k, she is easy to kill if you're red, right? Because red focuses all on attack power. You can just easily KO that. It's only 2k. 1 drop Robin, I think, can KO that. So yeah, but for only 3 Dawn and a 2k counter in hand, the ability is where this whole thing like hits pretty much. So activate main once per turn. If you have no other Black Maria, add up to 5 Dawn cards from your Dawn deck as rested. Then at the end of your turn, return Dawn cards from your field to the Dawn deck until the number of Dawn cards on your field is equal to the number on your opponent's field. So the reason why I said that this is going to be kind of busted for Mono Purple Kaido is because when me and my friend were talking about it, we were speculating about all the stuff that could happen, and when we saw this card, it's going to be really good for him because turn 2, if you're attacking first, right, you'll be at 3 Dawn, which will be just enough to play this Black Maria. Then you activate her ability, get those 5 Dawn, and then you use Leader Kaido Swing for the normal 5k, and then you use Leader Kaido ability because you'll be at 8 Dawn because of this character card. So you have a chance to either make them take the card, you have a chance to make them lower their hand size, and you also have the ability to turn 2, make them trash their life off of leader ability, because you can't use leader Kaido ability until you're like later on in the Dawn line, because I think it costs about 7. You have to -7, I think, to get rid of a life from mono purple Kaido ability leader. So yeah, it's also really good because say you're at Dawn 10, Dawn 9, whatever. You play this card, next turn you play the 9-drop Kaido, right? Or, well, first off, you play this card, or you have this card out already, activate main, use Kaido leader ability, go through that turn. If she's still out on board, your next turn, you play like 9-drop Kaido, -5 to KO something, use her ability, go back up to 10 or 9 or something like that, and then use leader Kaido ability. And then you still have the 9-drop rush Kaido swing, and you have the leader swing. So this card's going to be really good for mono purple Kaido, in my opinion. Of course, since it's not archetype locked, you could also use it in any other purple deck. Most likely in purple decks that really rely on minusing Dawn. So like you could really use this for, you could actually really use this for Reiju, right? Because say you already have a bunch of your lower cost Power Rangers on board somehow. If this card's on your field, you just add all those Dawn up to minus Dawn. So like, how do I say this? So if you're at 4 Dawn as Reiju, and this card's out, and like you already have like Ichiji, you somehow have Ichiji, Yonji, Niji, and all that. Let's just say you have those. You use her ability, add the 5, and then for each of your Power Rangers, you just -1. And then you do the later effect of this card. So you pretty much didn't lose any Dawn with this card as Reiju if this card's on the field. You pretty much got your Power Rangers out for free, for like actually free, because you're not losing any Dawn actually. You get the Dawn rested to your Dawn area with this card, and you use those Dawns that will return to your Dawn deck later. So hopefully that made sense in some type of way, but I feel like this card's going to be like actually really good. So look out for that. Look out for purple, because purple's coming up harder and stronger than it was before. Next up, we have Charlotte Opera, second to last card. We have another Big Mom Pirate, and for some reason they chose Opera again. I don't know why they keep choosing Opera, but on play, you may trash a card from your hand. K up to one of your opponent's characters to cost equal or less than your own life total. So it's stronger Gadatsu, the ability-wise anyway, because Gadatsu relies on your opponent's life, but this one relies on your life, and since you're yellow, you're going to be big on life, in my opinion, because like you're always life gaining. So yeah, the low part about it is that you have to trash a card, right? Yellow, we don't really have any ways to get cards back from our graveyard unless you're half black now. But Katakuri, Kalgara, the new card that's coming in this set, I think, just mono yellow pretty much doesn't have a way to get cards back. So losing cards from hand is actually pretty hard for us yellow players. It is a low, right? But it is, I wouldn't say it is balanced. It's kind of like getting to balanced. It's kind of ass. I'll be honest. It's kind of ass. But it's better than Gadatsu. It's better than Gadatsu, and it's for Big Mom. So of course it's gonna be for like Pudding or something like that. But that's Opera. The last card in this update is Katakuri. He's a rare, so we have potential another parallel card to get. So this is also another card that's actually pretty good. So on play, you may flip the top card of your life face down, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck, and set it as active. So it's a 6-drop 7k body. That's a good stat. It is only on play, but like being able to ramp, have a nice body on board, a nice mid-range body, and also knowing what's in your life is pretty good for yellow and purple. It's also not archetype locked, so if you really want to run this in like blue or purple yellow croc, you can, but I don't know if that's ever going to really work. So that's just a possibility. I don't really know how this is going to work, because I am looking at purple yellow Pudding because she does seem fun. I also just like Big Mom Pirates. But yeah, that's going to be it for this update. A lot of cool things, especially this what is it? This Whitebeard, and we finally get to see what the Seraphims are like. I'm not gonna say this is cool, right? Because that's just stupid broken. Black Maria, this card is just stupid broken in my opinion. Like I didn't mention it earlier, but she could actually make Mono Purple King like somewhat viable, because say you minus Dawn down with King, you're doing something with the Mono Purple King, and one of your character cards and minusing Dawn, you just use this card to get back up to 10. For the turn to minus 1,000 and clear your opponent's character boards, because it may not seem like a lot, but minusing 1,000 is actually a big deal, because they're gonna need a 2k to get over it to get over the swing, the potential swing that you have for them to need to use a 2K. So like minusing 1,000 is actually a pretty big deal. So yeah, that's just a little like example. Probably not a good example, but like I feel like this could be random mono purple king. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this update. And I'll see you in whatever this update gets updated next. So yeah, thanks for watching.